With everything that's happened with Halo over the past couple of years, over the past decade, I'm kind of upset that I even have to make this video. However, a few days ago, while I was scrolling through Instagram, I saw this picture implying that a Warzone-style customization system for the weapons in Halo Infinite would be a good idea. And in the comments, not just people that said, yeah, this is a good idea, but people who got pretty upset when I said, hey, this actually isn't a good idea. And it was at this point I realized that there's a lot of people out there that just don't understand what Halo is fundamentally. So, I'm Pliskin, and today we're going to be talking about how a lot of you guys don't understand Halo. Halo has always been about how we, the player, react, improvise, adapt, and experiment with the sandbox provided to us. The sandbox entails the weapons, the vehicles, the layout, the enemies we go up against, and the allies we fight alongside. Every vehicle, every enemy, every weapon, every character has its ups and downs in regards to what it is when you go to fight it, what it is when you go to use it. For example, the Banshee is great for covering wide open spaces and raining damage upon enemies from afar. However, when you get too close, you realize the Banshee's health isn't really that significant, so you're kind of a glass cannon as you're moving around in this thing. The shotgun does wonders when dealing with enemies that are charging at you, something that stops harder enemies dead in their tracks, so when you're faced up against the Flood in the later parts of Halo CE, Halo 2, Halo 3, the shotgun is something you're really going to rely on for most combat encounters regarding the Flood. However, there are situations in which you're fighting enemies from afar, for example rocket grunts, or I should say plasma cannon grunts, or perhaps banshees firing on you from afar, and in these scenarios it would probably be better to use a rocket launcher, handgun, or something better suited. Each weapon is carefully tailored to suit a very specific role very well. If you allowed the player to tamper with these weapons, their ranges, their damage in certain areas, or their application, it would upset the balance of the entire game. It would nullify the usage of other weapons. It would make certain enemy encounters completely broken. It would just break the game. And don't get me wrong, I love Warzone. And one of the reasons I loved Warzone is because I can take a weapon like the M4 and tailor it for whatever I may want it to be. I can make it a long-range DMR. I can make it a close-range shredder. It's all up to me. The options it gives me is part of the fun, and trying out all these different combinations within the multiplayer gameplay is where I derive a lot of my enjoyment from Warzone. But here's the thing. Because we can edit these guns so extensively, and because we can make them suit a variety of roles, other weapons that may have at once suited that role better become completely nullified. For example, the M4 can pretty much be turned into a gun that can accomplish anything, so why would I use the FAL as a semi-automatic heavy hitter? It would make no sense. The M4 can already fit those roles, and I can tailor it however I want, so there's not as much incentive to actually experiment with the sandbox. That's okay because it's Call of Duty, and Call of Duty has always been built around that, ever since I can even remember with my time with the series. But if we were to do that with Halo, and for example in this new upcoming Halo Infinite, allow me to turn the MA-40B, whatever they're calling the assault rifle this time around, if they allowed me to turn that into the Magnum from Halo CE, why would I really use anything else? Why would I try out the new heavy assault rifle that they've shown off in gameplay trailers? Why would I experiment with the sandbox and see what weapon reacts to what enemy in a different way? Why would I put in the time to study these weapons and know this works for this enemy, this works for that enemy? I should carry these two weapons for this part of the mission, and later on, because I saw, let's say, jackals up there, I'll switch over to something else. You know, like, why would I take the time to actually learn the game, learn the proverbial dance of Halo, when I could just make one gun a beats them all sort of thing? And this is what people don't understand about Halo. The fun comes from understanding what weapon combinations, what vehicle combinations work against certain enemies and situations. And it's because of this one for each job type of weapon system that Halo doesn't or wouldn't have to constantly be patched and have certain weapons change. Like again, I love Warzone, but I get so frustrated when I get used to the weapons working a certain way, but then one gun that used to be really good gets completely nerfed, or one gun that completely sucked is now the best thing now. Having to keep up with that sort of meta just isn't fun for me. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter so much that it's not fun for me, because if there's people that enjoy Call of Duty and that sort of update, fix this, change this, everything is constantly changing, some people enjoy that and that's fine. However, that's Call of Duty. My issue is the fact that there's a lot of people who insist on doing the same thing with Halo. And we see this in so much more than just video games. And this is the larger issue. People are just constantly trying to force everything to be the same thing. Turn every product into the same easy to consume, predictable sort of shit. And for all of us who have gone through the last generation where they pretty much did that for a long time, I'm surprised people are demanding this. I'm surprised people aren't smarter, or maybe smarter isn't the right word. I'm surprised people aren't appreciating the differences in games that are coming out. The fact that we can have an experience like Warzone, and then an experience like Halo Infinite, and then an experience like Persona 5, and then an experience like Metal Gear is amazing. I like that these games are different. I want to keep them different. So just because you see something that works really well in one game doesn't mean it's going to work really well in another. And the reason I'm even making this video to address that is not because I want to be preachy, but because we live in a time where developers listen to you. They listen to what you put on social media. Hell, the reason Halo Infinite's even being delayed to make sure it comes out as good as it can be is because they've listened to the backlash. With social media, the line between developer and consumer is a little blurred. We're that much closer and that much more a part of this process. And if there's so many people, so many voices screaming out these opinions or these wants without really understanding what something is, in this case what Halo is, they could potentially damage the franchise moving forward. So in short, it's great to love Warzone. I love Warzone for all of its shortcomings and all of its successes. But have an understanding as to what gives these different franchises their own identity, and have an appreciation for that, even if you don't necessarily like it. So yeah, it's fine to have shits and giggles, but just be aware of the potential consequences that pushing for certain things might have. Anyways, this has been Pliskin. If you learned something new, or if you understand Halo better as a whole, or if you see it in a different way than you initially saw it before watching this video, leave a like. If you have any thoughts, go ahead and comment them down below. I'm so excited and so looking forward to Halo Infinite coming out this year, probably on the anniversary of Halo 1. I'm super psyched for that. Anyways, that's it for me, guys. This has been Pliskin. Over and out.